Welcome to a continent where reality outpaces imagination. A place so strange, so epic, that every fact you're about to hear will feel like a revelation. Strap in for a high-energy ride across Australia, the only country where the land itself is an adventure. This is 50 insane facts about Australia's geography, and by the end of this journey, you'll rethink everything you thought you knew about our planet's wildest continent. Did you know Australia is the only country that is also a continent? A standalone geological marvel floating in southern seas. It's the smallest continent, true, but don't blink, because it's also the world's 6th largest country, stretching so far that if you drive east to west, your playlist will run dry long before the horizon does. Australia's continental uniqueness isn't just trivia, it's the very essence of its mind-bending geography. Now let's travel back in time. Australia boasts some of Earth's oldest exposed rocks, 3.6 billion years old. Imagine running your fingers across stone formed before multicellular life even sparked. The ancient landscape here isn't just old, it's primal. Its bones are visible to all who dare to look. Beneath your feet lies history written in rock, a planet's autobiography etched in red ochre and jagged ridges. Yet for all its grand age, Australia is paradoxically extraordinary in its flatness. The average elevation is just 330 meters above sea level. That's less than the height of most skyscrapers. A whole continent lying low, so much so that you can gaze for miles and the horizon barely winks at you. In fact, Australia is the flattest, most eroded landmass on Earth. Take Uluru, the famous rock rising from the outback. What you see above ground is just the tip. It plunges 2.5 kilometers below the surface, a hidden mountain carved by eons. Let's venture into the heart, the striking sunburnt outback. This vast desert interior is raw grandeur on a scale that challenges the mind. 80% of the continent is arid or semi-arid. Picture it, an endless expanse, 5.2 million square kilometers, where heat waves ripple across red sands and rivers appear only after rare rains. But don't let the word desert fool you. There's Channel Country, where on the rare occasion when the rain gods are kind, floodwaters can engulf an area the size of England. Rivers flow, wildflowers bloom, and the desert transforms almost overnight from dust to dazzling life. And it's not just big, it's bone dry. Australia is the world's driest inhabited continent. Most cities hug the coasts because the center is a furnace by day, a mystery by night. The aridity shapes life in every way, from ancient Aboriginal pathways to cattle stations the size of small countries. Imagine living in a place where a single thunderstorm is a calendar event. Now drift outward to the legendary coastal wonders. The Great Barrier Reef, nature's living kaleidoscope, stretches 2,300 kilometers along Queensland's coast. That's longer than the distance from Paris to Istanbul. It's so vast, so dazzling, that it's visible from space, and yet its fragile beauty is threatened each year by warming seas. The reef is a shimmering world where turtles, sharks, and dazzling corals script dramas beneath turquoise waves. But the coast isn't just about reefs. Australia is home to the longest continuous fences on Earth. The Dingo Fence runs 5,614 kilometers, designed to keep wild dogs away from fertile lands. Stretch a string from New York to Los Angeles, then add more, it's still not as long. This giant line carves the countryside with a human-made border you can see from drone footage, a surreal divide between wilderness and civilization. Australia's coastlines swirl with variety, the tropical north sizzles with humidity, crocodiles lurking in mangroves, while the temperate south cools with breezy vineyards and surf-ready beaches. You can stand at one end with palm trees overhead and, a few thousand kilometers away, see penguins waddling on chilly shores. How does such difference happen? Isolation. Australia split from Gondwana more than 50 million years ago and drifted away, floating alone through geological ages. This isolation is an evolutionary laboratory. Over 80% of its species exist nowhere else. It's a land of survivors, innovators, and outliers. Kangaroos bouncing across open plains, koalas drowsy in eucalyptus branches, and platypuses defying all logic with duckbills and otter bodies. Species here aren't just rare, They're marvels of adaptation. If you crave the strange, Australia serves it in pink. Lake Hillier, tucked away on Middle Island, glows a lagoon-bright pink year-round, a phenomenon scientists link to algae and bacteria. Swim in it, and your skin becomes part of the mystery. The lake holds its color even in a jar, baffling the brightest minds. Beyond pink lakes, Australia's blue mountains shimmer with a permanent haze, thanks to eucalyptus oil evaporating from millions of trees. The mist refracts sunlight and bathes the hills in an endless blue glow, almost as if the mountains themselves are exhaling color into the sky. Ready for climate extremes? Australia doesn't do anything by halves. Temperatures soar past 50 degrees Celsius in remote towns. Bushfires sweep landscapes with a fury that turns daylight orange, consuming forests in a rush and then, paradoxically, triggering rebirth as seeds await heat to sprout. The land is shaped by fire. Sometimes whole ecosystems depend on the cycle of burning and renewal. But the continent itself isn't standing still. Every year, Australia migrates north by an astonishing 7 centimeters, requiring GPS recalibration just to keep maps accurate. Yes, the land you stand on is sneaking away. A slow-motion journey that tells a story of restless geology. Our tour is just getting started, so keep your mind open, because each fact from here on is a portal to wonder. Here are insane revelations waiting to wow you. Fact 1. Australia's landmass is so massive that its coastline stretches over 25,000 kilometers. To drive all of it would take months, and you'd see deserts, rainforests, cliffs, and hidden beaches. Fact 2. 10,000 beaches dot the coastline, more than any other country. You could visit a different beach every day for 27 years and never repeat yourself. Fact 3. It holds the largest sand island on Earth, Fraser Island, home to ancient rainforests growing in pure sand, crystal-clear lakes, and wild dingoes roaming free. Fact 4. The outback has cattle stations so large, Anna Creek Station alone eclipses the area of Israel. Helicopters are used, not horses, to round up livestock. Fact 5. The Simpson Desert features the world's longest parallel sand dunes. Flying a drone across these rippling ribbons of red, you'll see 1,100 dunes stretching for hundreds of kilometers. Fact 6. Australia's rainforests in Queensland are some of the oldest on the planet. The wet tropics date back 180 million years, a living snapshot of ancient Earth. Fact 7. The country's isolation gifted it the world's deadliest creatures. Inland taipan snakes, blue-ringed octopus, and irukandji jellyfish lurk in habitats that visitors rarely expect. Fact 8. The Daintree rainforest is so biologically rich, it's called the Amazon of Australia, bustling with ancient ferns and rare marsupials. Fact 9. Mount Kosciuszko may be the highest peak, but it's only 2,228 meters, a reminder of the continent's extreme flatness. Fact 10. South Australia's Coober Pedy sees locals living underground to escape intense heat. Homes and shops hide beneath the surface, a subterranean town brought to life from necessity. Fact 11. Lake Eyre is Australia's lowest point, and when filled after rain, it expands to be one of the largest lakes in the southern hemisphere, then vanishes again under the sun. Fact 12. You can see snow here. The Australian Alps receive more snowfall than Switzerland in winter, creating a southern snowy playground rarely associated with the outback myth. Fact 13. The Devil's Marbles are massive granite boulders, balanced atop one another by natural forces, creating a landscape that feels alien, almost sculpted by an artist. Fact 14. Wave rock, a geological sculpture in Western Australia, undulates like a cresting wave frozen in stone. Fact 15. Lake Disappointment isn't just a quirky name, its salty barren waters were found by explorers who hoped for fresh water, only to have their dreams dashed. Fact 16. The continent's geological shields mean that earthquakes are rare and usually mild. So much of the land is stabilized by ancient granite foundations. Fact 17. The Nullarbor Plain, Latin for no trees, covers a stretch so vast and bare it can be seen from space. Road trippers cross it, battling monotony with trivia games and playlists. Fact 18. Australia's forests contain the tallest flowering plant, the mountain ash, which can soar over 100 meters. Fact 19. Sydney Harbour is the world's largest natural harbour, a winding waterway alive with iconic bridges and sparkling ferries. Fact 20. Kata Chuta, also called the Olgas, is a cluster of domed rocks, even bigger in total mass than Uluru, shrouded in myth and Aboriginal lore. Fact 21. The continent's interior features salt pans that glimmer ghostly white under a full moon, creating otherworldly vistas. Fact 22. The McDonnell Ranges split the central desert with 600-million-year-old ridges, their rusty colors burning in the desert light. Fact 23. The Kimberley region contains mangrove systems so rich and remote that some species exist nowhere else in the world. Fact 24. Australia boasts the world's largest coral reef system, with thousands of individual reefs and hundreds of islands scattered across turquoise waters. Fact 25. The Murray River is Australia's longest, winding 2,508 kilometres, supporting communities, crops and wildlife all the way to the sea. Fact 26. The continent hosts vast arrays of opal mines, glowing with fiery gemstones and attracting fortune seekers from around the globe. Fact 27. The Pinnacles Desert in Western Australia is decorated with thousands of limestone spires, carved by wind and time into strange, haunting forms. Fact 28. Tasmania's rugged coastline features cliffs plunging 300 meters into the sea, where rare forests cling to rock with stubborn tenacity. Fact 29. Australia's volcanoes are ancient, long extinct, yet their cones dot the land in Victoria and Queensland, silent reminders of a fiery past. Fact 30. The continent's secret river, the Diamantina, can dry up for years, only to flood spectacularly and bring life to the outback in a burst. Fact 31. In the tropical north, the wet season brings monsoonal rains, transforming dry landscapes into lush green by the month. Fact 32. The interior's red dust finds its way across oceans. Australian dust storms have coloured snows in New Zealand. Fact 33. The Great Ocean Road in Victoria is one of the world's most scenic coastal drives, famed for its 12 Apostles rock stacks towering above wild surf. Fact 34. Australia's limestone caves hide entire ecosystems, with glowworms illuminating the darkness and ancient fossils preserved for millennia. Fact 35. The continent's isolation means marsupials like wombats and quokkas share landscapes with birds found nowhere else, laughing kookaburras and colourful parrots. Fact 36. The outback is marked by rivers that flow upside down, meaning during dry spells, water travels underground through networks carved over millennia. Fact 37. There are over 500 national parks, guarding everything from rainforest to reef, desert to alpine tundra, making Australia a conservation powerhouse. Fact 38. Rottnest Island is home to the world's happiest animal, the quokka, with its perpetual smiling face. Fact 39. Kings Canyon slices through central Australia with sheer cliffs dotted with cycads and hidden waterfalls, an oasis in ancient rock. Fact 40. Along the coast near Sydney, you can visit Bondi Beach, where sand, surf and iconic lifeguard towers create a scene familiar the world over. Fact 41. Australia's river systems are so capricious that some exist only as dry beds for years, their return celebrated like a festival when rains arrive. Fact 42. The continent's endemic diversity includes bizarre creatures: numbats with long tongues for termites, echidnas with spiny coats, and cassowaries, massive birds that can run as fast as a bicycle. Fact 43. The rainforest of Kakadu is home to prehistoric art, painted on cave walls by Aboriginal ancestors thousands of years ago, telling stories older than history books. Fact 44. The Eyre Peninsula features wild shorelines where the ocean carves cliffs with relentless energy, sending plumes of spray skyward. Fact 45. The average Australian is never more than an hour's drive from the ocean, a fact that shapes the lifestyle as much as the geography. Fact 46. Huge granite tors dot the land, like hanging rock in Victoria, shrouded in legend and mystery. Fact 47. Australia is moving, literally. Each year it inches northward, part of the restless global tectonic shift. Your feet rest on a continent that journeys even while you sleep. Fact 48. The wild bloom of wildflowers on the Western Australian plains brings millions of colors to arid landscapes each spring. Fact 49. In the red center, dry lightning can spark bushfires in seconds, a force capable of both destruction and regeneration in equal measure. Fact 50. From arid desert to tropical reef, snow-capped alpines to ancient rainforest, Australia's geography is proof that nature writes the wildest stories. Let's land this adventure where we began. Australia is more than a place, it's a living testament to extremes, a classroom for the planet's future, a playground for the bold and the curious. Now you know, no matter what you imagined, the real story is always stranger, brighter, and, on this continent, utterly unforgettable.